Welcome back to episode 97 of the Block Runner podcast. I'm your host, William, always here with your co-host, Iman.
What's going on, Will?
What is up, dude? So we were just talking for a good hour, just catching up on everything. And that Bitcoin price has been steadily rising, just on cue, dude. It's basically on a time schedule. It doesn't care about what else is going on the planet. It's time to go up, and it goes up.
Yeah, I guess this is just confirmation that like that moon chart is it's the real deal, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's what we were speculating. Didn't we like have the or some I don't know, like the sentiment was starting to shift that like these cycles are gonna take longer.
Yeah.
You know, like as I don't know, as the market cap grows, like like the volatility should go down, so these cycles should be more delayed, I guess.
A lot longer,
Or prolonged.
and a lot less volatility. That's for sure.
So I mean, I guess we're not out of the water yet. Like this thing could still like just completely tumble and correct for the next year, right? It's possible.
I think there will be a correction, but I don't think there's going to be a year-long correction though. It's more like it's going to be okay. Let's go back in time here for a second. Let's go back to 20.
Yeah, that's literally all we could do, right? Is just go back in time and try and reference what's happening now to what happened in the past. So yeah, if you do that, it looks like it's just following its normal rhythm, right? It seems like you said, everything's on schedule.
Yeah, I mean, so it broke an all-time high around $1,400 in 2017.
What time? In the very beginning, right?
Yeah, in the very beginning of the last bull cycle.
Okay.
So it broke an all-time high. And I know this chart doesn't show it because 2014, that's when it hit like $1,000 or so. Mm-hmm. And then it broke an all-time high in 2017, about $1,000. Here goes. And then it just keeps going.
Yeah.
There's 4,000 right there. And if you're listening, definitely watch the YouTube channel for this. We're showing the chart here. There's 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. And then it just like hits 19,000 in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So let's zoom in here. So yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of pure green candles.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean,
and this was like according to schedule. This is what's going to happen. Like the schedule was at 10 grand and then correct for about 2 years, which is what we saw. In this case, in reality, it hit 20 grand and then it corrected for about 2 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're seeing it like, I guess this breaking this 20K barrier it's confirmation to a lot of people, I guess, right?
Yeah.
People with the significant people with a lot of money. You know, I guess we're seeing lots of headlines of big institutional funds like finally starting to pull the trigger, or at least announce that they've been pulling the trigger. Maybe they've been slowly accumulating for like this past year or two, you know, but they're just now announcing it.
Yeah, for sure.
After the 20K has been popped, maybe just to like, you know, increase their credibility, just to make themselves look smarter without any of the downside of, you know, dealing with all the bear market negative sentiments and shit like that. I don't know how these big funds like coordinate their marketing and whatnot, but that to me seems like the most sensible thing to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe they are just FOMOing in. They see 20K pop, they're like, fuck it, dude. Like YOLO all in. I don't know.
No, definitely not. I mean, those companies who are buying in now, they've done their research for the past year or two. And they probably come up with the same speculative projections that we've come up with in terms of 100K Bitcoin based on moon math. And I'm sure that's exactly what they're doing. And did you happen to watch this YouTube video, this interview with Michael Saylor on this guy's hyperchange?
I saw parts of it. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Well, I definitely recommend watching the whole thing because he does explain like the gravity of what Bitcoin could become. And like, for example, Tesla or Apple, just buying a few $1 billion worth and then worth of Bitcoin and then implementing a wallet into their phones, for example, Apple's phones. Mm-hmm. I mean, that could move Bitcoin, just add $100 billion worth of market cap to Bitcoin just like that.
Yeah.
And adding $100 billion, that's like an additional, several billion for Apple just by implementing like the equivalent of the internet to their phone. Like he was explaining how cryptocurrency is so fundamentally game changing as the internet was game changing, and it took tech companies to take risks on building businesses on the internet. And then now you have Apple and Facebook and all these companies who took advantage of that. And the next wave are the companies who implement cryptocurrencies within their products. And that's going to be, the history rhyming in terms of the .com boom, implementing internet in their businesses. So I thought his explanation was just like perfect. I mean, he took $600 to $800 million worth of cash reserves for his company and put it all into Bitcoin because cash is a liability.
See, well, yeah, that's where like the crazy bells start to ring, I guess, because like that's I don't know, if you're in charge of capital management, I don't think you put all your eggs in one basket, right? No matter how confident you are, especially that kind of money, and if it's like, I don't know how significant. I mean, you said that's like their whole treasury fund, basically, right?
It's probably most of it, but I'm sure they have like 2 years worth of rainy day funds, like in cash. But in terms of having money and holding it, you're not going to hold it in cash. You'd prefer to hold it in Bitcoin. That's his point.
Or diversify it, and like I guess they are diversified outside of whatever they're holding in cash. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Like, I'm hoping like the only assets they hold that's liquid isn't just cash, and like now it's just Bitcoin. Like that's pretty crazy in my mind and in a lot of people's minds, right? I understand what I think is actually going to happen. I think this guy might just be like. He's like the equivalent of like that guy who like mortgaged his house and moved to the jungle, right? Like he's just like a headline grabber type.
Yeah, but look at him now. If he's holding the same Bitcoin,
look at him now. He's crushing, right?
Yeah.
But everybody shouldn't start selling their houses and moving to the jungle and like buying Bitcoin. Like there's only going to be one crazy asshole who should be doing shit like that, right? Everyone shouldn't be this crazy. What people should be doing is allocating like 5 to 10% of their net worth into these types of assets, because
by the time Bitcoin is a multi-trillion-dollar asset, like we're talking about bigger than gold. Gold is like 7 or 9 trillion. By the time Bitcoin is more than 7 or 9 trillion, that's when it's probably too late to like mortgage your house and like go all in, because at that point, like to go from 10 trillion to 20 trillion is asking a lot. But Bitcoin has that potential to be like the fundamental piece of technology for governments in terms of like government monetary exchange or country monetary exchange. Man, but holding one Bitcoin at that point, I don't know. It's going to be tough.
Yeah. Well, yeah. All I expect to happen out of this is, and then there's like the PayPal too, right? Like they allocated some of their cash reserves to Bitcoin. It just seems like a trend will emerge, from big Silicon Valley type companies.
Let me ask you, like, let's say, I mean, there's a lot of people in the crypto space already completely living off of cryptocurrencies, right? They generally don't have fiat currencies other than the times where they have to use it. But
that's true.
At what point do you use Bitcoin as a savings account, like completely? Like what market cap, what needs to happen in your eyes, Iman, in order for you to be like all in on Bitcoin and fiat is like a thing of the past?
Well, I guess that's what the whole point of DeFi is, right? So they could become these like custodials of your crypto, but like in a decentralized platform, so you don't have to ever worry about some type of bank run scheme, right? But a future where, all the crypto assets you do hold they have the necessary vehicles like you do in the real world. You could just park your wealth into these DeFi platforms, and even if you're only yielding like, the DeFi ecosystem becomes so saturated in the future that you're not seeing 1,000% APYs anymore. You're seeing 1%, 2%, 3%. Even that's still good.
Yeah.
Like I'd still be content holding all my wealth in crypto as long as I have these safe, trusted, verifiable protocols to park my crypto assets into. So but that's the whole point of DeFi, right? Is to give people that confidence, but it's so early that,
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Still risky.
I don't know what else needs to be developed in terms of, like, the institutions are going in, right? That's what I remember 2018 and 2019. That was all everyone would talk about. It's like the institutions are already accumulating. They're just not talking about it.
Yeah. What did they used to always say? The herd is coming. Yeah. That was the saying. That was the big saying.
And like the herd hasn't even like arrived yet, but it's starting to, for sure.
Yeah, they're trickling in one by one. I mean, it's inevitable, I would think. I mean, especially now, like, I mean, this is officially like the coming out party for Bitcoin, dude. Like, there's no hiding from it now. It's all over Twitter. It's trending. I see already seeing like rappers feeling it. All the scary things that freaked me out from the last cycle, I'm already starting to see them happen. Like not at such a scale. So like,
I think we're gonna see a level of FOMO that we've never seen on anything like this cycle. For sure.
I think so too.
I mean,
it might even be like because like the euphoric sentiment lasted maybe like a couple of weeks or something like that, maybe like a month or two.
Yeah.
This might be like a year long of that. Who knows?
It could be. I mean,
I was saying, like that's kind of like the point. Like we should, at some point, we have to like not be scared of seeing, the mainstream start to become adopters of this stuff, right? Because that's kind of like the whole point. Like this is not supposed to be something that like only a small segment of people should be like participating with. This is designed to be utilized by like everybody, I would think.
Yeah.
If this is to become a successful like unit of currency or like store of wealth, whatever, this has implications to everyone who's living on Earth. So at some point we have to expect this to become like part of the normal, part of our everyday zeitgeist, right? Like, but still, like the speculator in me like doesn't like seeing that stuff.
Yeah,
because that's traditionally those are the times when you want to sell, like when people are talking too much about this stuff.
Yeah, and let's go back a little bit in January 17. So we have in January 2017 we had it was a $1,100 Bitcoin, right? Let's give it $1,000. And I think the all-time high at that point was like 1,400. And so 3 months later, I think we basically break all-time highs 3 months later in March 2017. Okay? Mm-hmm. And then from March all the way to December of that same year, that's when we go from $1,400 to $20,000. So let's say that's a 20x return. So if it was 10,000, that's a 10x. So for right now, on Bitcoin's price is at $23,000, and it's supposed to go to 100K, right? The equivalent of 10,000, right? It's supposed to go to 100K. Let's say it doubles that; it goes to 200K.
Yeah.
So that is a 10x return from the previous all-time high.
Yeah.
So we're going from the previous cycle, going from a 20x return to this cycle going to a 10x return, like potentially. And it's already started. We're if you believe in the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin, like continuing on indefinitely, then we're 3 months ahead of schedule, essentially. So we're not that ahead of schedule. 3 months is like nothing. So to do a 5x from here for the next year, I mean, it's not that crazy.
5x from here.
So to go from 20 grand to 100 grand, that's a 5x.
Yeah.
Over the next 12 months.
No, it's not crazy because that's what happened in 2017, right?
Because exactly, it went 10x to 10 grand, and then it doubled that, so that's a 20x.
It just catapulted.
Yeah,
man. I mean,
so maybe it is extending. It's just we're having a little pop right now, but then it's going to calm down to like 18, 17 grand, in the next couple of months, and then all of a sudden it's on its way to 100K, maybe more.
I think that's more realistic, or that's kind of like what I'm anticipating. At some point, this initial euphoria from breaking this all-time high should come down.
Yeah, I mean, it did. So let's look at this. So it went from 1400 to, so it lost about, what is it, 30% here?
Mm-hmm. Which is normal. That's a healthy correction.
So 30% from now, let's say that's like $6,000. So I think between 14K and 17K is like going to be another accumulation zone.
Yeah, I would expect something like that too. Maybe like all the way till March or something.
Yeah.
Who knows? That's what happened. And then in 2017, and then that's, I think, when altcoins started to, especially Ethereum, started to pick up steam. So
let's go back to Ethereum's chart.
Okay.
Let's go to the same time frame here. Let me zoom in a little bit.
You gotta really zoom in on this one. Look at that.
So this one only goes to 2016, but
well, that's okay. We just want to know what happened early 2017, right? For Ethereum.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, so here we have March. Here it is, March 2017. It's at $50 or so, $20 to $50, and then it goes to $400.
Yep.
How much is that? That's 20x.
Yeah.
So it did 20x from March to June. Jeez.
Pretty ridiculous, huh?
Yeah. And then it's like it chills. That's about 75% losses right there.
Well, I think that was like that was the Dow hack, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, you're right, dude.
Yeah. So the Dow hack brought things back to reality for a little bit.
Yeah.
But really, it was just like it just formed like a really nice bullish pennant, for some continuation action, like towards the end of the cycle.
Yeah, that's true.
But usually like Ethereum doesn't have its big moves until Bitcoin like settles down,
Yeah.
So Ethereum has its own little rhythm too. Like it's not as well established yet because Ethereum's only one cycle old. Now it's like breaching into its second cycle. So we'll see, man. Like we'll see how this thing moves.
Yeah. So let's go back to December 17. So in December for Ethereum, or in December for Bitcoin, this is 20K Bitcoin right here at Ethereum's at $400 to $500, $400 to $700.
Yeah.
And then once Bitcoin calms down and goes to like 17K or 18K, then it starts to take off, and Ethereum hits its all-time high at $1,400. So what you're saying is, if this were to repeat or rhyme, we would have. Damn, it'll be a while, because this is like the peak of Bitcoin, and Ethereum is barely at $400 to $700.
Yeah.
So it could be a while, man, before we see Ethereum like breaking its all-time high.
Potentially, but I mean, what's the harm in waiting, dude?
Yeah, I mean, we got no choice, right?
Yeah. All we know is like you have to expect it, just because we know fundamentally Ethereum is like it's the platform. Literally, that's everything is happening on Ethereum. I mean, there's others out there that have some activity, but I mean, if we're looking for any kind of like catalyst, it's going to happen in the Ethereum ecosystem. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
DeFi and whatnot. So, I mean, there's other ecosystems emerging like Polkadot and whatnot and maybe like, wax for NFTs. We see NFTs are really jumping on that wax bandwagon. So
yeah,
I guess you could put wax into that category of what, EOS?
yeah,
I think.
yeah.
I believe so. So there's activity happening outside of Ethereum, but I mean, more than likely they're not going to kickstart any kind of like altcoin cycle. It's got to be Ethereum, dude. So
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. So if you're looking to put your money into something, I don't know, with a lot of upside, but also like a lot more of a safety net, something you know is going to stick around and not go away anytime soon, I would think it's Ethereum.
Yeah.
Right. Just because we know Bitcoin's already like super overbought in the short term, I think.
Yeah, I mean, what's wild about Ethereum is in the beginning of 2017, it was like at $10, a few dollars. Yeah. In the same year that it's a few dollars, it goes to $1,400.
Yeah. So I think that type of run up that you witnessed there, I think you're only going to see that in like the emerging sectors of DeFi and NFTs and whatnot. Like, you know, those are the only potential, like, you know. So we used to speculate back in the day, like, oh, well, you'll never see another Ethereum. I don't know. I don't think that's true. I think there's other Ethereum.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Chainlink has a chance. I mean, because they're providing a fundamental piece of technology.
Yeah.
With oracles. But here's a good question though. Had you bought at $20 worth of Ethereum, right? Say $1,000. At what point do you sell, dude? Like what's the
yeah.
There's no way that you, as a sane person who buys in $1,000 for at $20 for Ethereum, a sane person holds until there's like a 1,400x return.
I mean, it's possible. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people who are still holding, you know?
Yeah, I guess if they're still holding, yeah, you're right.
Like, you're still up bigly. If even to this day, you might, you could have cashed out, but let's see, those people are playing the game correctly. You know, the people who bought Bitcoin when it was $1 and they're still holding, right? Like the Roger Veers and the Winklevoss twins and people like that. Like, I don't think they're bothered. They're wasting their mind space with like trying to catch these swings. You know, I think they bought their positions at the perfect time and just held on to it, dude. Like, hold on. God damn it! I don't want to bring back that meme, dude, because I hate that meme. Hold on for dear life.
Yeah.
God, I hope that doesn't come back, but I'm sure.
Yeah,
it will.
But dude, I mean, we've had several podcasts talking about this very specific topic, and we said it makes no sense to hodl.
Yeah, because I mean, if this is all you do, then exit. And then, you know, you could do that. You could time the market if you have confidence in your, I don't know, in your projections, I guess.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is, you know, those people who bought $1 Bitcoin and they've been holding ever since, like, I don't know. I mean, you're riding just as pretty as you would be if you're like trying to catch these like ups and down movements, right? Like,
yeah,
there's chances you can actually really fuck yourself by doing that, and a lot of times that's what happens, you know. So I don't know, man. I'm definitely an advocate of the buy and hold strategy.
It's a good strategy. It's just like,
it's just hard. Yeah, it's hard to get past the
I don't know. I just don't know if it makes sense to hold like forever, dude. I just don't know if it makes sense.
I don't know, man. It's like those guys who bought Apple stock, dude, like in the 70s, or 80s or whatever the fuck. Like, if you just bought and hold from back then, you're still holding, you know, you're doing fine, dude. You know, it's never a bad idea, dude. Like, it's never a bad thing to like not sell, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I did some quick math just to throw out some numbers out there. So if you had bought $1,000 worth of Ethereum at $20, that's 50 ETH.
Mm-hmm.
And then 50 ETH, had you sold at the top, which is hard to do, right? So this is not a realistic scenario, but had you held and sold at the very top, you would have made $70,000 from $1,000.
Yep.
which is like that's a salary. That's a reasonable salary, right? And obviously very lucky. So this is like an extreme scenario. So then this savvy investor sells for 70 grand and then waits until there's a good stretch between, let's say, September 2018 to May 2019.
Yeah.
That's like several months of trading between $80 Ethereum to $200 Ethereum. So it's like, okay, this seems like a reasonable entry point, right? Anybody would say that, right? You don't have to be a savvy investor. So you buy in at, let's say, $100 because you're that good. So now you have, what was it, 700 ETH.
Yeah.
Right? And then let's say this plays out. Ethereum does a 5x from its all-time high. So let's just give it $5,000 ETH. That's $3.5 million that you would be holding at 700 ETH.
Yep. See, that's if you're like the perfect
now,
like
perfect. Yeah, this is like the extreme.
You're the perfect trader.
Yeah. You know? This is like, this would never happen. But my point is that if you had held at 50 ETH, I mean, you're looking at 50 times 5,000. That's $250,000. So you're comparing $3.5 million, which is a perfect trader, to $250,000, which is I bought in early and I'm still hodling.
Yeah, you just don't bother with the you can just forget about it.
Yeah.
For the rest of your life, just move on. You don't have to stare at charts and pay attention to what the sentiment is, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I mean that's kind of like what you're weighing there is this. So what else did you do in that time? Did you accrue more value out of to make up for that $3 million you could have lost by focusing all of your attention onto this thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of like, more than likely not, right? More than likely he didn't, recoup that 3 million potential realized gain he could have got from swing trading this shit. So I don't know, man. Maybe you're right. Maybe the wise thing is supposed to be like you're supposed to be swinging this whole time, Yeah,
I mean, it's just, obviously,
just finding your entry and exit points. Like I already have one in my mind. Like I think like 100 to 120,000 makes the most sense to me for Bitcoin. Yeah, totally. More than likely, it's gonna shoot way past that.
Yeah,
right?
I totally agree.
But whatever, to me, like that's good enough. And if it doesn't end up getting there, maybe it corrects once it hits 70K and never goes back up. And I like totally fucked up.
Yeah, that's the risk.
Exactly, that's the risk. The guy who's been holding this whole time doesn't have to like deal with that stress and like these thoughts. Like living in the what ifs is like it's always bad for your health, right? Your mental health. Like you want to be in that state of like total bliss, like your mind is just clear, you're just like good energy only.
Yeah.
That's what that guy who's buying and holding, he's chilling. There's a reason why Warren Buffett's like almost 100 years old and he's still chilling.
But here's
he buys and holds.
so we have a little bit of history that we can go off of because Ethereum had no history. It just kept going up, right? And people didn't know that maybe Ethereum is worth 10,000 or maybe it's worth more than Bitcoin, right? Nobody knew like what was happening here, so it's hard to know. But now that we have like price targets, like once Ethereum is all of a sudden like $5,000 or $6,500, that's a pretty good time to exit. Like even if it gets to $10,000 or $20,000, like you're still solid.
Yeah. Yep. And then you could like you said, you just have the patience to wait for that next bottoming out, probably like around $1,500, $1,200 or something.
Yeah.
And then grow your stack for the next cycle.
Yeah, exactly.
It just takes incredible patience, man, incredible discipline. And like, you got to be aware of this. You just have to form your own strategy ahead of time and stick to it. That's all you can do, man.
Yeah. And it's not that we're advocating trading because we're definitely not financial advisors. However, this is all about doing your own research and understanding like what's happening.
Yeah.
And I mean, if Bitcoin goes up, it takes the rest of the market with it. There's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah. So yeah, but ultimately, yeah, this is just the Bitcoin show for I don't know how long, maybe like a month or two. But
yeah, and
I'm more looking forward to what's happening. Like once Bitcoin shuts the fuck up, you know.
yeah.
I've never been a Bitcoin like
Maximalist.
I think I've never bought Bitcoin probably in my life. Like,
I mean, you bought it in 2013, right?
well, yeah, 2014. Just
2014, yeah.
Just because like that was literally like all that existed back then. That was I thought.
Yeah.
But no, I bought it with the intention of buying an altcoin because even back then I had it in my head.
That's right.
Like
that's right.
Like, oh, I missed the boat on Bitcoin. I need to like catch one of these other, you know, alternate currencies that has more potential, right?
Yeah.
But you know, and it ultimately didn't happen. But that mentality still sticks in my head, you know, because I am one of those guys who like this is my life. Like I spend all my time in this space, you know. So
yeah.
I don't have the luxury of just like buying Bitcoin and just like going to a beach and just chilling.
Yeah.
You know, actually, like you kind of have to like make your money in this space. In order to do that, you got to get in the trenches. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to catch like things before anybody is like aware of them. You know.
Yeah, and
so like I think that's the information eventually like we should aim to provide. You know, and I think we have. I don't know. Like we've been covering the NFT sector a lot. Like I said, I think if you're looking for that type of growth you're seeing on this Ethereum chart from what is it, $2 to $1,400 or whatever?
Yeah.
You're only gonna get that from I think like the DeFi and NFT sector. And a lot of y'all listening already understand that. You guys are already like you're probably deep, just as deep or if not deeper than we are into that stuff, you know.
Into DeFi, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because most of y'all who are listening to us, we're all like seasoned veterans at this point, so we know how this market works. Like we all recognize Bitcoin's just, you know, it's the show for the normies, right? Like that shit's not that cool.
Yeah,
like we've been there, done that, we've seen it all, dude. Like Bitcoin, it's just Bitcoin doing its thing. But
I think though for the veterans in the crypto space, I think they should consider Bitcoin as more like a savings account, because I don't think Bitcoin's useful for any other means besides storage.
Yeah.
And I think let's say you're a good trader, right? You're reasonable, and you're making your trades in the altcoin space. And I think some of those profits, let's say 10% of those profits or whatever, should go straight into Bitcoin just to hold. Because when Bitcoin's done, like we're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar asset, and it's not even like breaking a sweat.
Yeah.
So I don't think Bitcoin is good for trading, like the swings.
I mean, it is now that they're like introducing like I probably shouldn't even say this, but like margin trading and shit like that on some platforms, like leverage
trading. Yeah,
it's starting to become more prevalent, and even in the DeFi space, I see a lot of projects looking to decentralize, you know, the options trading for in the cryptocurrency space.
Yeah.
Like that's like a fundamental service like the traditional finance sector kind of operates off of. Like look at Robinhood's success. They're blowing up because all of a sudden retail traders have access to these like intricate, complex financial tools like options. You know, you can, and it's basically like much riskier trading. You know, it's just straight up gambling, but like a whole culture has emerged from it. You know, if you go to Wall Street Bets, dude, just a bunch of degenerate gamblers, like, you know, YOLO buying puts and call options, you know, that expire within the week.
Yeah.
And like most of the time they just lose all their money, right? I know I myself bought into that, dude. I gambled like all my funds away on Robinhood.
Yeah.
You know? But that's gonna come to crypto too. And when it does, things like trading Bitcoin are going to be like much more sexy to these people, right?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because when Bitcoin is trading at an average of 50K, there's no retail investor that can like just jump into this and make any reasonable amount of money unless you leverage trade.
Yeah, to where like a 1 or 2% swing in Bitcoin's price can still yield you like a huge sum of money, but you gotta like up your risk.
Yeah.
With these this leverage trading platforms. But I've seeing them out there, and I definitely want to do more research on them because I understand the significance of of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like we saw what happened to BitMax, dude. Or is it BitMax or BitMEX? I think it was BitMEX. Dude, like that shit was huge until like they got arrested or whatever the fuck happened to that guy.
What happened? Can you? What was it that happened?
Why he got arrested?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he just didn't abide by SEC regulations, and eventually they like caught up to him, and I think he's like on the run now or some shit like that. Huh. I forget, but it's along those lines. If you guys remember that story, it happened like 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Post that in the comments because it was kind of hilarious. But that guy was like, he created this BitMEX exchange where they had access to these, like I'm saying, margin trade services where you could. I think he might have gone up to like 200x. I'm not sure. Maybe 50x leverage. I don't know. So I guess, yeah, if you don't understand what that means, it's like you put in $1,000 at 50x on margin, right? It's like you have $50,000 basically.
That's right.
So, but then like if the price of whatever asset you're speculating in, if it goes down like more than 2%, I think, then you get margin called. You're liquidated. Like your call option has expired, then now you owe them like a shit ton of money. Some shit like that.
Well, right? I think you just lose your $1,000, right?
I'm not 100% sure. I think when you borrow, you're liable to pay that back. I believe it's like borrowed money. I think, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. So correct me on that too.
I think it's like, I don't know. We need to look this up a little bit more, but I think it's more like you put in $1,000 at 50x leverage, so you're like 50 grand, and as soon as it goes down 2%, your $1,000 is gone. So they just made $1,000 off of you.
Potentially, yeah. I think that seems like it'd make more sense. It's just that, yeah, because a 2% swing like happens within an instant. So
yeah.
If you're crazy enough to take that risk, you just lose your principal balance. But I don't know, man. It's something like that. But regardless, yeah, you're going to start to see that a lot more. And these protocols are being built for people to do that,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just like how you can use Uniswap to, do these non-custodial exchange transactions. You'll be able to do the same thing in the DeFi space. So definitely look at that. But yeah, so that's whenever Bitcoin will be really sexy as a trade, because Bitcoin's pretty predictable, dude. As we see, right? It's literally following everything. Like all the meme lines that people have been drawing, they're working, which is kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
Because like me, I always like to bet against what the herd is calling, but in Bitcoin's case, you don't want to do that because I don't know. Somehow the herd's always right, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild,
Yeah, that brings me to, was it Moon Math?
Uh-oh, here comes the rainbow chart, dude.
Yeah, it is. Here it is.
It's been a while since the rainbow charts featured on our show, dude. Wow, we're still in the blue, dude. Look at that.
Yeah, so right here's the 20K all-time high in 2017. And we broke that pretty easily. And then here's 100K. This dark line right here. This is 100K. And the year is 2022, or at the end of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it follows the same 4-year cycle, this is when it'll reach 100K or maybe 200K, which is like a little blip up here.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So it's less likely to reach the reds and the purples like it did last time. But man, if it does, we're looking at, I don't know, what is this? Yeah, every line is 100,000. So we're looking at, here's 100, here's 200,000, and then here's 300,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Yeah, man. Who knows, man? Who the fuck knows? But that's pretty wild to think about. But yeah, at that point, in order for these things to happen, for sure, institutional money has to be at play, and we're already starting to see it slowly trickle in. So, I mean, it makes sense that Silicon Valley at some point is going to jump onto this bandwagon because it's like right up their alley, right?
Yeah, it should
This
be.
is like, yeah, this is like tech. This is like tech money. How the fuck Silicon Valley's not like
dude,
balls deep into this?
For real, dude.
I don't understand, but
yeah,
I guess because they're too busy, like making stupid amounts of money on the shit that they produce, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, we got several $trillion companies now.
Exactly. Yeah, the Silicon Valley is having their own bubble, so
Yeah.
they don't need to concern themselves with like this internet money bubble that's on the verge of happening. But at some point, it will. It's going to permeate into their culture too, if not already. I'm sure there's a little bit of like blockchain presence in Silicon Valley, but not so much because like blockchain is kind of like working to kind of like tumble that establishment, right? Silicon Valley's control of everything. So it makes sense that they're not necessarily like jumping the gun to, ride the ship. This is more like of a global,
transfer of.
It's like, to me, the thing I like about blockchain and crypto and stuff, like it evens the playing field. It's like no longer like governments and like big institutions in charge, right? It's like now these protocols allow, like, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, like you could have access to it, you could use it, you could benefit from it.
And it's accepted by everybody just because it's not run by any government.
Yeah, exactly. The nature of it.
Yeah.
So like that's the true like vision of this whole thing, or mission, I guess. So that's where, like, when I see things like Coinbase, launching an IPO, like it doesn't really get me like super wet. You know what I mean? Like, I get it from the point, like, yeah, I should create a Robinhood account and I should like load up a bunch of cash, get ready for that IPO, right? But man, like, what is that going to do for the space? Like it's just, to me, like, that's just the opposite of what we should be focused on, right?
Yeah.
If you're like a true crypto head, like if you want to, yeah.
I think there's a place for that though. I mean, you buying Coinbase stock is not you saying that you vote for the traditional systems to like succeed. It's just you saying, I think Coinbase is going to go up and appreciate in value, and I want to take advantage of that appreciation. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you just know, like,
yeah,
you just know, man. Like, I can already hear the narrative from like a mile away, right? Like we saw what happened with Tesla and other like other like sectors within the traditional market that have their little growth cycles, speculative growth cycles. Like Tesla is supremely overvalued when it comes to like fundamental earning value, I guess. But so the stock market's already demonstrated, like, there's a sector of investors that don't give a shit about the fundamentals of whatever it is they're putting their money into. So Coinbase is probably going to fall right into that category.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, think about it, in the grand scheme of things, Coinbase is going to become like, I would say, I don't want to say Apple, but like, remember when Apple IPO'd? I mean, it was this huge deal, but it ended up obviously working out because Steve Jobs was like, I don't know, some genius coming back to Apple and like fixing the company. But Coinbase, I don't know if it has the same staying power as Apple might or as Tesla might. I think Coinbase can be unseated as the on-ramp to cryptocurrency. I don't know by who, but since they're the only ones, I mean,
it's by DeFi, right?
Well, no, there still needs to be a fiat to crypto on-ramp. And I don't know if DeFi can do that, because then they have to deal with KYC and all the regulations, and then think about the regulations that a DeFi project would have to do for each government and each country. Like that, it's just not, it's not doable. So there's going to be some centralized on-ramps throughout the world, right? And Coinbase is going to be the United States. Some other organization, maybe Binance, is going to be for every other part of the world.
Yeah.
But they have like a huge burden to deal with, like government and institutional regulation. And that's why Coinbase, I
So
just
then
convinced myself that Coinbase has some staying power
yeah,
because of
that's
the
what I was about to say.
regulatory.
Yeah, if the fiat to crypto on ramp 100% never evolves past like us having to go through these like regulated gateways,
Yeah.
then yeah, for sure it has staying power. But if somehow we can get around this like
Yeah, I
burden,
don't think you can, dude.
I don't know, man. Don't say never,
Yeah.
man. What are you talking about?
I can't say never, but I can't visualize a way where you can get around. I mean, obviously you can give somebody cash for a transfer of Bitcoin, right? Over the
Yeah.
counter stuff, right? But I don't think that's like scalable.
You never know, man. Hopefully the DeFi boys are working on that very thing right now. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't see it happening, dude. I mean, that would be my bet. That's the bet that I'm making. I don't think that's going to happen. I think there are going to be centralized entities like Coinbase, like scattered throughout the world, that fixed the regulatory part in the on ramp.
Yeah.
But I think Coinbase IPO is going to be very, very good investment, which is not investment advice.
Yeah, it's more than likely like this space doesn't get around the government grasp. You know, it's too powerful.
Yeah.
I'm already hearing things about like, you know, MetaMask and like other foundational like crypto tools pretty much like will cease to exist without like abiding by, you know, whatever the regulations that are set upon them, right? Because the government wants to keep track of everything, you know. So
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. It's tough, dude. But yeah, it's
yeah.
regardless. Yeah, it's good for the space for sure.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to talk about was the all-time high, the previous all-time high at 20,000. We might, if let's say this moon math chart holds true, right after the year 2022, we are not going to see a $20,000 Bitcoin ever again.
Yeah.
Right. This is the
according to that rainbow.
Yeah, because this is COVID, right? This is COVID.
So ridiculous, dude. We're fucking looking at a rainbow, dude. And we're like, like follow the fucking rainbow.
Yeah.
God damn it, dude.
But
how is life not a meme, dude?
Yeah, right.
Meme. This is too much for me. But yeah, you're right.
So yeah, $20,000 is going to be potentially like an all-time low for the cycle.
Potentially.
If there's another pandemic, right? Another pandemic-sized dip here.
And what'd you say? What year?
2022, or a little after that.
Okay. Yeah, potentially. More than likely, you won't see like the bottom probably till like 2023, I would guess.
Yeah, you won't see like
the absolute bottom.
The absolute bottom. Let's say it goes to something crazy like 300 grand.
Well, look, it dipped below the blue.
No, I know. That
was COVID.
Yeah, that's COVID.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And this is just a natural dip. This is 20K. This is when we started the podcast about right here.
Uh-huh.
And then we saw 14K, and that's when we were talking with Frankie on stream.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had like a correction for another year. And then here we are.
Here we are, dude. Good times are coming in hot, dude. About fucking time, dude. Holy shit, what a grind it's been.
Yeah, it's definitely been a grind.
Yeah. So it's good though. Like we got to experience the pain. Like fuck.
Yeah.
It's been painful, but we definitely kept ourselves occupied during this bear market, dude.
It's funny,
without a doubt.
We recorded the entire pain cycle of this run here.
That's right. The entire existence of our podcast has been like during the most painful existence of like of crypto, like the despair phase, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's just like accumulation, yeah. But yeah, now things are starting to pop off. So yeah, the tone of our podcast should increase, right? We should be happy, boys. We should be fucking thrilled. But for some reason, I'm still not, dude. Yeah. Not yet. Maybe when we get into the green, or no, into the oranges and the reds and stuff, like, holy shit. Like,
see, that's when it gets scary, is like, when do you pull the trigger? But, I mean
shit.
That'll be fun times, though.
Wait, so scroll back in time? It's always been like in the red, right? So we got red. Holy crap.
Yeah, look at that. Look at this.
What the fuck? So okay, so there's at the very beginning, super high peak outside of the rainbow,
Yeah.
and then it seems like over time these peaks are getting lower and lower, right? That's what you said, right?
Yeah, they're getting lower and lower. Yeah, yeah. Let me zoom out.
They're
Yeah, look at
touching.
this.
Yeah.
So if
So this
this
one might end like in the yellow potentially.
yeah, yellow
right?
orange at the best, which is like $150,000.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I'm expecting.
Yeah, exactly.
So that might actually be what happens, dude. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
See, but this holds true. The volatility gets smaller and smaller.
Yeah, man. I mean, that makes sense to me. Like, but yeah, everyone's of course hoping we have another one of these like ridiculous pop through the rainbow moments, and
No,
we're like,
no, definitely not.
yeah, I don't see that either. So whatever.
Yeah,
Like I said, I have my strategy in mind. I have my pull out moment, dude. I'm pulling out like around 120.
Yeah, this is just so this is not like there's no mathematical reason why there's a blue here and there's a purple up here. It's more of a band of range of Bitcoin is going to be on. But the true logarithmic or regression path actually constricts. It starts large and then it constricts to a smaller range. So that's why you're seeing this like huge volatility start to calm down, because the band constricts. And so ideally, like, I mean, if this were to get updated, you would see like the purple over here and the blue become closer and closer as time goes on.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, you just have to like read between the lines to understand like what's actually happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would stick between the yellow and the light orange. Like that's where it stops. That's when the music stops.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But that, to me, that's good enough. I'm content there.
Yeah.
And then we could all go through the next bear together. It should be a lot of fun.
We just start more businesses at that time then.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where we are.
Yeah.
2 years in the future or whatever. Should be interesting. Oh, did we even talk about the IPO or just like?
I mean, we slightly talked about it, but yeah, the next topic was the Coinbase IPO, but I think we covered pretty much everything here. Like,
yeah, Coinbase is going mainstream, dude.
Coinbase CEO issues a warning to investors about Bitcoin risk. I mean, that's sort of like the regulatory like requirement to issue that risk.
Yeah, like the meme approach, like don't buy meme, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Don't buy Bitcoin as everybody buys Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get that. That's why I always like, I couldn't believe the fucking Litecoin guy got away with what he got away with. What was his name? Charlie Lee?
Yeah.
Like he went on CNBC and said the exact opposite of that. He's like, buy Litecoin. It's Bitcoin's or it's digital silver.
Yeah.
It was like you can't go wrong.
And then he dumped.
And then he dumped like a week later after that CNBC appearance. He's like, all right, I'm selling, boys. I got my money. I'm out. He's like, I'm warning the rest of you. Everyone else is about to do the same thing, basically. And we didn't listen, dude.
Yeah.
Didn't listen. Definitely listen to Charlie Lee, dude, because he's got the inside scoop of like who's going in and out of this bitch, you know?
So what's happening with Litecoin? Is it like a dead project? It's just coins.
Dude, Litecoin's it's just as useless as Bitcoin, dude. Like it doesn't do anything. Like Bitcoin is fucking useless, dude. It doesn't do a goddamn thing except exist and act as a vehicle, you know, for wealth, which is fine. But yeah, what's gonna happen to Litecoin? Not a goddamn thing, dude. It's just sitting there waiting for people to put money into it.
So basically it's the equivalent of actual silver.
True. Exactly. Yeah. So it works. He was right.
Yeah.
So he was actually correct.
Yeah.
You know? So maybe that's why he didn't get in trouble. But I don't know. At the time, I was mind blown when I saw that on CNBC. Like, what? You know.
Did you actually buy any Litecoin?
I think I did at one point. Yeah, I think I did because like it was like immediately after Bitcoin hit its all-time high and it started correcting and like ultra popping.
Yeah.
Like XRP exploded. Ethereum, like everything was exploding like one by one almost. It was like in unison. After one would have a huge run up, money would exit into the next one, and then I got in at Litecoin because it was like the last one to get that, that attention, that pump. So, and that was it. I just gambled on that off of that observation. It was like, well, everything else already pumped, so might as well buy Litecoin, And it actually turned out to be okay. It worked out.
That's interesting.
Yeah, man. So we'll see. There's gonna be a lot of speculation here in the next 12 months, dude. That's for sure. It's gonna be a lot of gambling, basically. That's gonna be my life for the next 12 months. I'm just gonna become a full-time gambler, on these crypto assets.
Yeah.
Should be fun. And you guys will be here along the whole ride.
Yeah, for real.
But so I'll be talking about my speculative plays, but I won't be recommending them to anybody else. You know what I mean? These are just my moves.
Yeah, I mean, so this guy, Brian Armstrong, he says, warning to Bitcoin investment. And then at the very end of the article, he says, ultimately, Armstrong tells people not to do anything too rash during the moment of exuberance. And then the quote says, for those who believe in the potential of crypto, we also all have to believe that we're still in the very early stages, and that there's a lot more to come. So don't invest, or don't go too crazy in buying Bitcoin, but there's a lot more to come. So buy Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, exactly. Very crafty, these Coinbase fucks, dude. Jesus, dude. They're just like everybody else, dude. Like,
Yeah, they are. Pump the bags without pumping the bags, right?
Yeah. So, whatever, dude. Let them do their thing. Because, yeah, you're right. They are the on-ramp, so. The better they do, I guess, the better for all of us. So, fuck it.
I guess.
Who knows what kind of products they'll come out with in the future? Maybe they'll actually do something interesting with all that money they're gonna get.
Yeah.
Because how interesting can a fucking exchange get? Like, what are they gonna do? Open up new courses? So it's like a new crypto course? I don't fucking know, dude. It's just an exchange. Come on now. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll fucking see.
All right. Well, that covers everything we wanted to talk about today. Man, we got there's a lot of stuff going on in Decentraland. I'm losing track.
True.
So
what's going on?
So let's run it down. So basically, MetaZone Core built a claiming process already for wearables, and that's been tested out with a few people, and it went smoothly. I didn't see any complaints. People were able to claim the wearables after winning them in the game. We are opening that up to the community to use as well. So if you have a smart contract with wearables and you want people to claim them, you can use MetaZone to do that. What else?
What do you mean? What do you so what do you have to do as a?
So the owner of the smart contract has to give us operating access of that smart contract so we can, I guess, mint on their behalf. So mint to, there's a function called mint to, and you can mint to an address. So people who are claiming a wallet will use that mint to address so that they can mint that wearable, and that NFT will be sent to their address.
So then in order for let's say WonderZone wants to use the platform, then we have to custom create a wearable interface for them so that their customers can interface with and select whatever wearable they want to purchase. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, interesting. Well, let's see if that comes. Yeah, that's right. So Ethermon most likely will be next in line to utilize this, and Corona Zombies, of course, right?
Yeah. The Ethermon, then Corona Zombies. Yeah, we want to onboard more creators out there because,
well, ultimately that's what we wanted MetaZone to be, right? It should be like the onboarding platform for the metaverse. This is what we want it to be. So in order for that to happen, if you're creating content within the metaverse, you should be able to easily distribute it to your user base, right? So MetaZone's building the tools to facilitate all of that.
Right.
So yeah, the versus page is just very infant stage right now, like super early prototype basically of what it can be. And there's only 2 users currently, Chrono Zombies and Ethermon. So eventually, like this whole list of verses should be, infinite,
heavily,
right?
yeah, populated.
Yeah. So this is pretty exciting to see the development of that. There's gonna be a lot of shit going on next year, dude. It's gonna be wild.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's getting us closer and closer to like becoming a legitimate NFT minting platform.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then people will be able to use the same process to claim their meta NFTs, and then of course once they're NFTs, and you can trade them anywhere you trade regular NFTs. And on top of that, creators can come and submit their creations into MetaZone and use a smart contract to mint those NFTs. So all that stuff is coming. I'm thinking about other stuff that's going on. There's going to be.
Did we ever get a confirmation on the? Not this. I think we're planning an event for this weekend for another Chrono Zombies PVE event, but there's after that.
I need to talk to August to delay our event by a week, just to make sure we have enough time to implement everything. Because we got some new weapons. We got a new layout for the PvP, and then Decentraland is going to help us like put on like a good show for this PvP event that's going to be happening in about a week.
Okay, hell yeah. Yeah, we should record a separate podcast or whatever just talking about that stuff, because these are all new releases that are about to get dropped. You know what I mean? And we definitely need to highlight that because what's it called? I mean, this is pretty big, man. Like, it's a pretty big investment into this. Like, Chrono Zombies all of a sudden has like a lot of capital injection going into it,
Yeah, for sure.
To create like the actual assets of the game verse, know. So it's going to be interesting to see how the community receives it, like whether this is kind of like this was attempted before in the past with like, older game titles, but they never really delivered past like 2D NFT representations, right? Like, this is the first I think that I could think of outside of wearables where it's like an actual NFT that's being deployed into Decentraland.
Agreed. That's it.
I can't think of any other one that's successfully done it.
Yep.
Which is kind of crazy to me. I can't believe nobody's pulled it off yet.
Yeah.
But I kind of understand because it takes a lot of money, know.
And so, we're like this close to like actually making it true.
I guess Ethermon, but even Ether, so,
I guess Ethermon would count, because they have an NFT that's now a 3D, like playable game.
Yeah, so Ethermon is definitely the Kickstarter to all this, is like bringing 3D NFT assets into Decentraland.
And it's because they came prepared, right? They had the NFTs, they had the 3D models, and then all of a sudden MetaZone came out, and now they're using MetaZone to like disperse that content to players and landowners. So
yeah, that's right.
It's just like a perfect kind of like situation for Ethermon.
Oh yeah, by the way, now that we're talking about Ethermon, can you like briefly explain what this airdrop is all about and like how do you participate in it?
Okay, so this airdrop is going to be a grass meta for every single landowner out there, and it's going to be based on ETH address. So if you want to gamify this and split up your district into like thousands of individual parcels to get 1,000 metas, then that's what you'll have to do. However, this is an airdrop for all landowners. They get a free grass meta, and what this grass meta does is it spawns new Ethermon, and it spawns this like battle NPC where you battle this particular like slug, I believe, and it's just to increase your experience points on your Ethermon that you're battling with. So it helps you. You still there? Oh yeah, it helps you. So gain that experience points, eventually evolve, and have a better Ethermon battle, I guess. And then on top of that, so it'll spawn new Ethermon that people can go to your land and capture that Ethermon, And any action that occurs on your land, you as a landowner collect these marks. And these marks are I guess, a database token, but eventually they're working on making it into an actual cryptocurrency. They're dealing with a lot of like regulatory issues to make that happen, but it's just a formality. So they'll get through that, and then there'll be an actual token that landowners and players will receive. So they're called marks. I think that covers it. And then on top of that, the more grass meadows that you have, the more often that these things will spawn, and more likely people want to play on your land. So the more grass meadows that you have, the better. So you'll be able to purchase this after the airdrop as well, to kind of stack your grass, if you will. For some reason, I can't hear you, man.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, my bad, dude. I was muted that whole time. Fuck. Yeah. No, dude, that was a lot. Even I didn't know like there was that much going on with that grass meadow. So we definitely need to do a better job of explaining the grass meadow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I did not know it was going to be that intricate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they have a Medium post, I think, explaining all that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So if we wanted to like know the nitty gritty details, go to Ethermon's Medium and look that up. But yeah, it's exciting, man. It's cool because it's a new airdrop mechanic that we're kind of like.
Yeah, it's cool because you'll be able to claim it, and I guess an important detail to this is once you claim it, you have to deploy before the end of the year to actually be able to claim the NFT.
Wow, so you got to get on that, dude, because the year is winding up quickly.
Yeah. So the snapshot is December 20th. Go ahead and claim it December 20th, and then go into MetaZone and deploy it onto your land.
Oh, so it actually has to be on your land, not just claimed?
Yeah, it has to be on your land. So you have to deploy it on your land in order to claim the NFT. Otherwise, once we move MetaZone's platform to be only NFT, if you don't have the Grass Meta NFT, you can't deploy the Grass Meta. So the stipulation is once you deploy the Grass Meta onto your land, we'll have a list of deployed Grass Metas, the ETH address. That list will be able to claim the NFT later on once everyone can claim their NFTs for MetaZone. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Holy Toledos, dude. That was complicated.
Yeah.
That was a lot of steps to memorize. But yeah, definitely go to their Medium article because you need to know all those details. So, and it's free shit, right? Airdrops it's free, right?
Yeah, it's free. Yeah.
Yeah, man. If you want to participate, definitely figure out those steps. Just rewind your wheel a few times and take notes of every single step you need to do, and do it because, I mean, free NFTs, like those don't come around too often, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But in this case, it's if you have space in your land, especially if you have an Ethermon meta already on your land, like this is a no-brainer additional component to like, servicing the Ethermon player base on your land.
Yeah, basically. And ultimately, it's supposed to bring people to your land. So, I mean, if you want people to visit,
yeah,
that's what you
do. Basically, like you're claiming your rights to host like essential fucking game functionality and you're gonna be able to do that for free. So like whatever else you have deployed, even if it costs you money, like it should benefit, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you own Ethermon metas,
Yeah, because I mean, this is a game where you'll be able to walk around Decentraland and find random Ethermon to catch. Like, how cool would that be?
That's the whole thing, dude.
That is the whole thing. And then on top of that, they have their own district that they're about to launch, like I think early 2021. So, dude, and then Decentral Games, like, dude, their market cap is like over $3 million.
Yeah, Decentral Games is crushing.
Yeah.
So at some point, there's going to become like some awareness to like, yo, okay, Decentral Games, depending on how hard they crush it. Let's say they're $30 million in a couple months.
Holy shit!
Let's just say,
yeah,
which is very possible.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then all of a sudden, that's going to grab the attention of like everybody who's paying attention to like the DeFi and NFT space, which is a lot of money, a lot of people.
Yeah.
Then they're going to see what the fuck? This Decentraland Games Casino came out of Decentraland. Like,
yeah.
I thought Decentraland was a dead thing.
Yeah.
You know, well, apparently it's not. So, you know, then they're going to come investigate and see what else is being built in Decentraland. They're going to want more investment vehicles to, you know, jump onto. So, yeah, look forward to Ethermon's new token and all that shit. Hopefully we have one out in the future, so you can look forward to that too.
Yeah.
We'll see. But essentially, we'll all be playing off one another in this ecosystem, right?
Yeah,
like
absolutely. Yeah.
Everyone should be able to, like, you know, succeed together.
Yeah,
it's
the
not
more
like a big contest.
The more content that's out there for Decentraland, like Decentral Games, we got Wonder Zone, we got Ethermon, and we got Pirate Showers. We got all these like creators out there making stuff. The more they pull in more people, the better for everyone around them.
Exactly.
So
that's how economies are built, dude.
That's right.
You know, Silicon Valley isn't just Google.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, right.
Google's popping because there's a whole fucking sector of innovators and tech companies, right? Like,
yeah,
and they're all thriving together. You know, they built that ecosystem, that economy.
Right. That's right.
So let's see if we can replicate that success here. You know, we'll see. But,
so yeah, all right, guys. Let's call it here. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at the Block Runner and at MetaZone.io. Yeah, man. Let's keep this train going. Hopefully, you guys have been hodling since we started this podcast. If you had been, you would be up
pretty bigly.
5x.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, if you bought whenever we were talking about buying, like, you're chilling now, so you're welcome.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding, guys. But congrats, though, for real, because those type of returns don't come around too often.
Yeah, totally.
Like, even myself, dude, I definitely did not reap full benefits of buying in at that time, you know? Yeah. Somehow I fucked up. But it happens. Anyways.
But yeah, anyway, thank you guys, and we will see you next week.
All right, we're up. Peace.